I really like these sort of clean, austere, modern line next to my scribbly drawings, like in this print. Like the type is very formal, and then my drawings are kind of loose and wobbly. I like that contrast.
When you see it presented like this, with elephants saying, "We are a work of art," and Piggie commenting on the frame, inside a frame, at an art gallery, there's something meta about it.
I feel like a Duchamp Jr. Just by saying it's art, it becomes art.
Totally.
If there is a living creator of children's books who stands a chance of occupying a cultural position akin to a Dr. Seuss or a Charles M. Schulz, it is Mo Willems. That's the New York Times from March 2016. So it's even recent.
They haven't changed their mind about it yet.
No, they haven't. We've established that newspapers are a dying industry, and this is why.
Mo Willems, you are essentially murdering Elephant and Piggie.
Throwing them under the bus.
Driven by a pigeon.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. That's why we couldn't let the pigeon drive the bus. But this is the end. This Sunday, if you come to the R. Michelson Gallery, owned by Rich Michelson, who's standing right here. Hello, Rich.
I am standing here. Please come. It's going to be an amazing show. You'll see original Elephant and Piggie sketches and final art. And you might even see Elephant and Piggie themselves, if you're lucky.
I hate you because you went to see Hamilton and met the entire cast.
I did.
Bastard.
Yeah, how many Elephant and Piggie books have you done?
25 Elephant and Piggie stories and adventures have been written. When I developed these characters, I said it to everyone at the publishing house, I said, this is my life's work. And I really see it as one big piece, sort of divided into these 25 chapters.
It's your magnum opus.
It is, and it's nice to have my life's work done because
I just kick back.
Exactly. My publishing house is really great. They have always been supportive, but they said the exact same thing when I started this series as when I told them I wanted to finish it. They said, "Really? Do you have to?" And to their credit, when I said, "No, I have to make these books," they said, "All right, we will support it." And when I said, "No, I really have to end them now," they were like, "All right, let's do it right." The rationale for ending them was personal, and I just felt like it was comfortable. And the job of an author-illustrator is to be terrified. When you're no longer terrified, something is wrong. And so when I announced that these books would be over, a first grader said, "No, that's great. Now he gets to stretch his brain." And I'm just up for some brain stretching.
Rich Michelson at the R. Michelson Gallery has put up an amazing exhibition. It opens this Sunday. It goes through June 30th. You'll be here for it, and you're going to lead us through the exhibition. Let's do a non-visual.
A dry run through. The first thing that you'll see is that the exhibit, as it's been put together by the guys here at the gallery, is very colorful. The walls are colorful, the characters are colorful, and part of that is because the drawings that you're going to see are line drawings. I do my color in the computer. So there are two steps that you're going to see in this exhibit. There are the final rough drawings, which sounds like an oxymoron, but after I've done all my small sketches, this is where I lay it out, I make sure it's to the right size and that it's going to fit in the format. And then the final inks, even though it's pencil, but the sort of the tracing. And again, it's not tracing, you change things a little bit. You're going to see either the drawing that's in the book or the drawing that is the drawing that could be the drawing that's in the book was made of.
That's as close as you get.
Right.
Now we're walking into the exhibit. This has every single Elephant and Piggie book represented, all 25?
It has two images from every single Elephant and Piggie, a rough image and a final image. And as you go through, you can sort of tell, as I was drawing these books over the years, the Piggie's ears get larger.
Because ears for humans and noses continue to grow their whole life. So was that intentional that you were going to let Elephant grow up and that her ears and nose would get longer?
It was intentional that I was going to allow them to become who they were. Mm-hmm. And in the same way as Peanuts or other characters evolve, there's just something that happens, that they grow naturally. I had no idea what they were going to end up looking like. Let's see. I date stamp all of the drawings. I think the first ones are from 2005. If you go back in the calendar, particularly with the early books, pretty much all of those date stamps are going to be a weekend or a public holiday. Because those are the only days when the phone didn't ring and I can actually get the work done. Uh-huh. So October 14th, 2005, that's when I finally
Columbus Day.
Right, probably. Yeah. It's over a decade long that I've been in this process. Uh-huh. And Piggie has much smaller nose. Look at that. The ears are prepubescent, practically. Right. And already I'm changing the posing. That you see the arms that I've erased, and I've decided to sort of see how the character can become the character. So I was really discovering who she was and who he was. He's much more uptight. I feel good. I definitely feel that as a young man, unfortunately, I was the pigeon. And I feel like now I'm Elephant aspiring to pigginess. Mm-hmm. But it's nice at Elephant. He's sort of like his ears are sagging. He's chilling out a little.
How did you decide on an elephant and a piggy? And why did that make sense for you to do as this series of now 25 books that's coming to an end?
Elephant was cast first. He was there. We draw on the dining room table every night. We've got a little piece of paper there. And I was drawing elephants for years and years and years, and I knew who he was and I knew what he was going to be. Casting his sidekick, his female lead, was trickier. So I had a muskrat. I remember I had at one point a squirrel with a helmet. It was all sorts of weird characters that didn't fit. I knew that there would be a size differential. It was also important to me that Piggie, as a girl, not have any accoutrement. She didn't have big eyelashes or wearing a dress.
Right.
Her girlness was just because that's who she was. So I
didn't know Piggie was a girl for a long time, or that Elephant was a boy for that matter, I suppose.
Right. Well, and you get it with
Except for Gerald, you hear Gerald's name, so then when you start to pick that up, you realize, Elephant's probably a boy.
But Elephant Gerald is named after a girl. Elephant Gerald obviously is a joke on my favorite singer.
Elephant Gerald. It just took me that long to get it.
Yeah. But also, he's complex in this weird way. He needs a name to hide behind. He needs glasses to hide behind. He's insecure. And when it came time to name Piggy, my first thought was Bea Piggy.
Probably wouldn't have gone over.
No, not so good.
Yeah.
But ultimately, what I discovered was she's purely Piggy. I mean, she doesn't need any additive thing. She is so pure and herself that her name is who she is.
She's Miss Piggy if Miss Piggy weren't so insecure and vain.
There are no misses for her.
Yeah.
She's purely Piggy. She is at peace with her pigginess. Mm-hmm. When kids ask me how she got her name, I say, well, when she was born, she looked just like a little piggy.
Coming up, more of a sneak preview with local hero, children's book author, illustrator, New York Times bestseller Mo Willems, walking through the Elephant and Piggy retrospective, which opens this Sunday at the R. Michelson Gallery on Main Street in Northampton.
There's a drawing here that I had forgotten.
Walking through the R. Michelson Gallery on Main Street, Northampton, with New York Times bestselling author and illustrator Mo Willems, whose Farewell to Elephant and Piggy retrospective opens this Sunday.
It is from Elephants Can't Dance, and Piggy is sort of standing there, and Gerald is trying to spin, and he's doing it really poorly. He's actually dressed in the uniform from Juno. I had just seen Juno, and I love those colors, so it's the same colors. And he's spinning, and I just remember, it's not a great drawing, but I remember making it. I remember how much fun it was to do all the spins and the curls and to exaggerate that. It's almost like method drawing. There's this weird thing that if the characters are angry, I get angry. If the characters are happy, I get happy. If they do something funny, I laugh. So I have physical memories of some of these drawings that I had forgotten until I literally just walked in here. I get dizzy drawing.
The last Elephant and Piggy book is the thank you book. And
right.
You've brought your own sort of personality into that, apart from just the way we were talking about with a thank you message.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm so appreciative of the fact that these books don't work if they're not read. What the success of these books has allowed me to do is make more of them. And that's a great, great gift. And the idea that there are kids who the very first book that they read all by themselves involves these two characters, it's amazing. And so I'm deeply, deeply appreciative of the opportunity to experiment with these guys. And the first one came out in 2007. At that time, nobody made early readers. They said stores won't carry them, they don't sell, there are all sorts of reasons not to do it. And that was what excited me about it.
Do you run into people that were young early readers now 10 years on?
I'm starting to see high schoolers sort of talk, particularly about the pigeon, more like, oh, you remember that pigeon? Now he was crazy, And that makes me feel aged and feeble.
Oh, good.
Well, yeah, but here's an example. This is from the thank you book.
What I like about this, and some of your other books too, like Knuffle Bunny, the use of ears as expression.
If you look at a silhouette, you should know what a character is feeling. So, often people mention the facial expressions that I do and how that sort of helps kids understand what the emotion of the character is. But it really is the body. It's an animation rule. If you put the character in pure silhouette, can you still see what they're feeling? This is, I think, the first time that I played with Piggie's ear as an emotional resonance by making one go up and the other go sideways, like a semaphore for like, what's going on?
Right.
Oh, I'm going to show you this because
Sure.
I also think that this is of interest. This is a rough drawing of the cover of A Big Guy Took My Ball. And if you look at that drawing and you look at the cover, you see totally different. And one of the keys is when you see a book and you see the originals, that doesn't mean that they're the only drawings. You're just seeing the originals that got in. There's always going to be a drawing, a pose, in this case a cover, that I think is going to work and doesn't, and there's a better solution.
To describe it, Elephant is looking askance, and Piggie on the cover is riding Elephant's head and pointing at the big guy who took his ball.
Who's off frame.
Right.
The fearfulness.
In the original drawing, or one of the original drawings, a Piggie is riding Elephant's hip.
Right. There's too much focus in the crotchal area.
Got it. And these are books for kids.
And these are books for kids.
Yeah, that's why I would buy this drawing. And then I would explain it to everybody. This is the one where Piggie was pointing at Elephant's crotch. So the thank you book, is the last Elephant and Piggie book. Elephant and Piggie will have another life outside the adventure.
In retirement,
that
yes.
Yeah.
But this,
recommending books to other kids.
like all great retired people, they still love their industry and they love reading. And so they are going to basically open up a book that was written by somebody else and then comment on that book. And it's a series that will come out whenever we've got good enough story. And they're called Elephant and Piggie Like Reading.
You've spent a lot of time developing over 25 books in over 10 years the characters of Elephant and Piggie. What are you going to miss most about hanging out with each of those characters?
I'm going to miss their friendship, and I'm going to miss the ease of that. One of the things of when you create a book, you have to figure out how to dress them. Well, how am I going to draw them? What sort of pencil am I going to use? What sort of paper I'm going to use? And it's terrifying and exciting. But every time I get to sit down with Elephant and Piggie, I know the pencil. That's the Elephant and Piggie pencil. I know the paper. That's an amazing freedom and fluidity. But it is also why I have to stop.
Too safe.
I got to be terrified.
What are you doing now that's terrifying you? Are you allowed to say yet?
I can tell you what the next book coming out is. I can't say what I'm doing that's terrifying me, but the next book that comes out this fall is called Nanette's Baguette, and I hand-built a French village.
In France?
Of boxes. No, in my studio.
In Northampton.
But thinking of that. So I built all these interiors, and I built a park, and I built rows of houses physically. I'd never done anything like that, and I didn't know how it was going to work, and that was just gloriously terrifying.
Rich Michelson from the R. Michelson Gallery, you've carried Mo and other, especially local children's book illustrators' works for many years. What does the work of Mo Willems mean, do you think, in the grand scheme of children's book illustration and for the R. Michelson Gallery?
I get to experience kids and their parents coming through the gallery and seeing how much these characters mean to them. It really is multi-generational. Teenagers, they love Mo Willems. People come in on their lunch hours in their suits and ties. I actually have some people coming in and, young couples, they apologize to me as they're, we love Mo Willems. I can't wait till we have children.
You're encouraging people to get it on, Mo.
I got to tell you, I encourage fertility in all of its many forms.
He is building his readership. For many children, this is their first exposure to artwork as well. It's just amazing, and I think Mo has really certainly become our most popular artist for bringing people in here. They go downstairs, they're going to see Dr. Seuss, they're going to come upstairs, they're going to see Mo Willems, and you're going to be able to trace the history of children's book art.